This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock, joined by Janet Harris. She is the Programs Director and Chief Marketing Officer at the Winthrop Rockefeller Institute.
Yes.
Was I close, or did
you were close enough.
Close enough.
Close enough for you,
You
Roby.
would correct me. What is the official
Chief
title?
Programs and Marketing Officer. That's
Chief
good.
Programs and Marketing Officer.
Yes.
I promise I'll do better next time. We're here to talk about rural workforce. You guys have a summit coming up, the Southern
Yes.
Region Summit, October 2nd to the 4th at the Rockefeller Institute. I want to talk first about what's happening in the rural workforce in Arkansas. By my calculations, you see in a lot of the numbers here, almost 60%, two-thirds of the job growth in Arkansas over the last decade has been in the metropolitan
Urban,
areas.
yeah.
You could really kind of pick about 7 counties in the state: Benton, Washington, Sebastian, Pulaski, Central Arkansas, Craighead. That's where your job growth is coming from. So this is clearly a really big struggle for rural Arkansas.
Yeah, and there are challenges that affect those urban centers just as they affect rural centers. So understanding how to keep pace with the shifting population dynamics, understanding how technology is implementing the kind of skills that workers need for good jobs today. But if you add on to that the added complexity of being in rural America and the challenges that they face, it's the reason that the USDA called for a workforce innovation network to be started last year. And so the Regional Workforce Innovation Center with USDA put out a call for all the organizations who are interested in developing partnerships that can help address some of those challenges.
So you kind of touched around this subject that there are a lot of challenges. What does a rural community face when it faces the population decline? Just take a Delta County or a Western Arkansas County or some South Arkansas County that has lost, say, 20% of its population over the last decade. That's not uncommon. So.
Right, not uncommon, and not only are those population numbers shifting in that way, but the population overall is becoming older, the workforce is becoming older, and so some of the challenges you can imagine are those individuals who live in rural communities understanding what the needs of the sectors are that serve them, and also having access to technical skills and training programs that they would need in order to find those jobs. The other particular challenge is that what you're seeing in workforce development now is an emphasis on kind of sector collaborations and pipeline for industry. And so what you want to do is try to establish a workforce environment and ecosystem where you're actually feeding the system pipeline and working with those industries that are, closest to you in your area. And so just trying to identify all those challenges and connect the right organizations together so that they can develop these programs is pretty critical.
Is this about replacing the workers that are going to be exiting the workforce? Is this about attracting industry and businesses to rural parts of Arkansas? Or is this about creating new jobs?
I think it's a little bit of both, or all three actually. And so right now the emphasis for our summit will be to have education and industry professionals come together and talk about what the workforce needs of the future look like and how they can establish training and education programs around those needs. But also there is a discussion about how do you create jobs and opportunities in rural communities, even if they're not a traditional manufacturing sector, because as you know, even though Arkansas has held pretty steady in manufacturing, there's a decline in that industry here in the state. And so this summit is really intended to catalyze those creative partnership opportunities. And we're looking at not only rural Arkansas, but rural Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So we're thinking about the southern region of the USDA.
So what will go on at this, I'm going to call it a 3-day conference because it's second, third, and fourth. What's going to go on in terms of the programming? What will happen if you're a participant?
So the first night we have a keynote address from Ted Abernathy with Economic Leadership. This is a group out of North Carolina. Ted is a self-professed data geek, and so he'll be talking to the participants about trends in workforce, how data can inform workforce strategies in rural communities, and then also some of the best practices that he and his group have witnessed. And so that's Wednesday evening. On Thursday is a full day at the Institute. We'll be hearing from Mike Rogers of Tyson Foods. He's going to be talking about the success that Tyson has had in their workforce partnerships and kind of give all of the attendees an idea about what's happening in Arkansas in workforce training. and development. And then finally we'll be hearing from Steve Cole, who is the chancellor at UACC Cossatot College, and he is going to talk about education-led workforce initiatives there. And so Thursday is all about kind of catalyzing the partnerships and sharing some really cool ideas for what's worked well. We get to show off Arkansas a little bit and the things that we are getting right, but we're also going to be learning from our cohorts that come from other states.
Who are some of your major partners in this?
Yeah. So on Friday, which is the last day of the summit, the participants will be heading down the mountain to UACCM, so the University of Arkansas Community College at Morrilton, to tour their new workforce training center that opened last year, and also to hear from panelists about the work that they're doing in workforce development in Arkansas. So we're really excited to have UACCM as a partner.
Is attendance closed? Are you still looking for participants?
Yes. Anyone who is invested in workforce training, who's interested in innovative ideas around workforce training and development, can register on our website. It's rockefellerinstitute.org. And we have several different levels of registration. If you can't make all 3 days, you can register for a day session or for both evening lodging accommodations.
It's the Rural Workforce Development Southern Region Summit at the Winthrop Rockefeller Institute on Petit Jean Mountain there, October 2nd to the 4th. Janet, thank you so much.
Thank you, Roby.
All right.
Appreciate it.
That's all for today's program. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.